Gunners, welcome to UG Gunners TV. Robert Wills are my names. Match day preview, Arsenal against Newcastle, St. James Park. A tough game, a very hardy one. I'm here joining with Big Steve. Welcome to Fans Front. Arsenal is going into this game against Newcastle. Arsenal lost against West Ham. As well, Newcastle had a win against Manchester United. So don't you think the pressure or that momentum of winning mentality of Newcastle is going to cause harm against Arsenal that lost a match against West Ham over the weekend, over the weekdays?
The two teams come into the weekend, of course, with contrasting results in the Carabao Cup.
Yes.
As you've mentioned, Newcastle picking up a 3-0 victory against Manchester United, and Arsenal losing 3-1 to West Ham United.
Yes.
So definitely the momentum right now is with Newcastle. True. Of course, beating the big team in Manchester United, the giant in Manchester United at Old Trafford.
Yes.
So you don't take anything away from Newcastle. That is a very big boost actually,
so
coming into
taking it for granted.
Absolutely, it's a very great result, 3-0.
Okay.
Of course, Eddie Howe made some changes in that game, but going into Old Trafford and picking that win, that was a very big victory.
Yes.
And coming against Arsenal over the weekend, of course, it was a dismal performance from the Arsenal team against West Ham United. Yes, they had a very good first half. They dominated the first half really.
Playing tactically, they played well.
Exactly, especially in that first half. With West Ham actually coming to the fight, coming out of that first half with literally no shot on goal. So the own goal from Ben White actually is the one that gave them that push coming into the second half. So Mikel Arteta, of course, made very many changes, about 7 to 8 changes. So he really expected the boys to turn up for the night, but that second half was very absurd. It was a really shambolic performance in the second half from the Arsenal boys. So we expect maybe they have put the result at their back right now, and the focus must be in this Newcastle encounter. So we hope the boys are up for the Newcastle fight.
Now, should we say that Arsenal's second 11 cannot pull out a result because really totally were denied?
It depends, because if you look at the team that played Brentford actually in Carabao, they managed to get a 1-0 victory, and it was a pretty much changed team as well. So I think what happened with West Ham, I think what gave West Ham actually momentum was that own goal from Ben White. But if you look at the team that Mikel Arteta assembled, I think it was a pretty much a team with experience and some good players actually, some players who can feature in Arsenal's first team. So I think the general, I think West Ham just had a very good second half. They were really up for the fight, and the Arsenal boys really lost it in second half. So credit to West Ham. So it was a game actually won by West Ham. So we give them the credit, and the boys the Arsenal boys didn't turn up for the second half. But I think that second team, any day, I think can win a mid-table team.
Now, should we call it a partial lose? It should be a partial lose, because that I don't think that lose affected the general first 11 of Arsenal. So because now we are getting into this match, whereby if we go with the same mentality that we lost the game, are we going to make it against the Newcastle?
I think the message was clear from Mikel Arteta after that game. He carried the blame as the manager. And so he told the boys, of course, to forget about the result and focus on the game against Newcastle. So I think the boys are right now are fully focused. I was looking at some of the boys in training. I think they must have put that result really behind them. And I think the focus is right in Newcastle, because Newcastle is not going to be an easy tie against Newcastle at St. James Park. I think they have been brilliant actually at home. Right from last season up to this season, they've been scoring goals for fun actually at St. James Park. So I believe the boys are really up for the fight. Come Saturday night, I think it will be an interesting game.
So how do you think that agenda arranging the East team against Newcastle? Because we know Newcastle guys, their midfield, well, that Joe Litton and even our OB is there. That's Willock also.
Joe Willock.
Joe Willock is there. That is their right back, their Trippier, their captain is also good. Yeah. So how do you see us going to hold those threats from those guys?
I think coming into this game, Mikel Arteta definitely is going to bring his guns all blazing. He managed to rest a few of them. Yeah. So of course we expect the likes of Declan Rice to come in, of course, to add some sort of physicality in that midfield. Yeah. Because the likes of Kai Havertz and Fabio Vieira were really bullied by West Ham. So looking at Newcastle, they have some big lads there. Yeah. You mentioned about Jolinton. Yes. Against Arsenal last season. Yeah. You see, it was a huge fight. Yeah. Yes, between him and Granit Xhaka right there. Yes. It was a big fight, and you know we are now lacking that physicality of Granit Xhaka. Never mind, we have Declan Rice. Yeah. But we had Thomas Partey and Granit Xhaka in there. Yeah. So they managed to counter Jolinton, of course, Guimaraes. Yeah. So coming to this time, they have an informed midfielder right now, Sean Longstaff, the Englishman. He has been fantastic in the last game. Yeah. So I think the battle is really going to be hard actually in that midfield. Yeah. So expect the Declan Rice there and whoever partners him, maybe Jorginho will come back. Yeah. Because Thomas Partey is again out injured. So expect maybe Jorginho to come in alongside Martin Odegaard. Yeah. So it's going to be a huge fight. Of course, you've mentioned about Kieran Trippier. Yes. Their captain. Yeah. He's really very fantastic actually. Balances that right wing very well. Yes. On attack and on defense, but actually his crossing is very dangerous. Okay. He's very good at set pieces as well. So whoever is going to play that left back, I think should be serious actually to face. Remember, we have Miguel Almero in that ring as well. Yes. So actually, we expect Tomiyasu to come in for this game. I think Zinchenko
should remain on the bench.
Absolutely, I think his form has dipped a little bit. Okay. So I think Tomiyasu must come actually to help on the defensive side of the game.
Yeah, there I agree with you, because looking at it defensively, look when you compare Tomiyasu and Zinchenko and the way the Newcastle is hungry for that match, because really the truth is they are hungry and we're hungry too. Yes. But we have to see the way how we can control their speed and how we can manage that we come up with.
And they should be coming, maybe they want to revenge against what we did to them last season, of course.
Yes. So this is their high time also to prove that they are also now giants of English football league. So now, because I know with Arsenal, we are not going to talk much about the lineup. We know where the lineup we're expecting, but only that we're looking at the front line, that is Nketiah. Will Nketiah manage to penetrate through that walls of Newcastle?
I think right now
because remember he has a hat-trick over the weekend. Yes. Will he continue that is form?
So we hope so, because right now we don't have very many options up front. Of course, we have the injury news of Gabriel Jesus. I think he's out up to around December, so we can count him maybe for coming back in New Year. So definitely we have Edin Nketiah.
Talk about Edin Nketiah and Kai Havertz playing that position. What do you prefer?
You look at the Newcastle central defenders; they are huge guys. You have Fabian Schär. Then you have, of course, the Dutchman, Sven Botman is out injured. So they have the return of their captain. Actually, he's the captain of the side just because he doesn't play, Jamal Lascelles. Okay. So those are big guys there. Then, of course, you have the big, tall guy as well, Dan Burn there, who plays left back. Yeah. But he joins the central midfielders as well. So you need at least someone who is a little bit sharp and quick. Yeah. I think Eddie offers us that. So I still expect Edin Nketiah to lead the line. Maybe Kai Havertz would come in as a plan B. Okay. If he can whip in those aerial balls, he can deliver in that aspect. But coming to this game, I expect Edin Nketiah to start up front.
What about, don't you think that there can be also a room whereby we can start Trossard playing there?
So Trossard.
Yeah.
If Trossard is to start the game,
yes.
Then of course we would have Martinelli.
Lining Trossard, actually, Saka, Trossard, Martinelli.
Okay, so Trossard may be in behind the Edin Ketia, or you want Trossard as a false nine?
Yeah, false nine.
It's an interesting one, but as I've said, the centre backs of Newcastle are really huge guys. Yeah, so I think you need a player who can try and hold that play, or to try to bully those defenders. Trossard is a little bit of a different player. He doesn't do that. He likes running, but coming and trying holding the ball so much. But Edin Ketia, what offers you is you can bring in that long ball to him. Yeah. Of course, he has the low center of gravity, can try to hold up the defenders. Then he brings in, of course, these other players. He tries to do a little bit of Gabriel Jesus, though he doesn't perfect it, but he tries a little bit. So if you bring in Leandro Trossard, yes, I think the dynamics of the game changes in here. Then you'll have like him trying to exchange positions with Martinelli. Martinelli so as to drift in so much inside. And of course, that flank remains a little bit wide open. And we have our concerns with that flank. Once Martinelli drifts inside, literally Zinchenko doesn't overlap in that wing. Okay. So we shall have a huge space there for Kieran Trippier and Miguel Almiron to run over whoever plays in that left back. Okay. So it's a little bit difficult to start Trossard in the center, because the dynamics of the whole game changes then. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Our viewers, you feel free to join the conversation by commenting, liking and sharing our videos, as well as subscribing to the channel. Now, continuing on the issue of, you see what happened with Ben White. Do you think that you can get into that game again? Won't you be like depressed because of what happened over the weekdays? And as well, looking at a player like Saka now is beat down, yeah, and that's the guy that was been leading our front. So, if there's something, do you think that can there be like maybe a pull up?
Ben White actually,
because that's the same line. Saka, yes. Ben White.
Ben White is professional, and I think if you look at his numbers ever since he joined Arsenal, yeah, I think that must be among one or two maybe mistakes he has committed. Okay. So an own goal, I don't think it's going to affect him coming into this game. I think he acknowledged actually his mistake, yeah, and I think he's ready to go for the Newcastle game. So I think Mikel Arteta has talked to him, and I think right now that is off his mind. So I think it's up for the fight come Newcastle.
Okay. Now, all in that, we're looking at the general setup of the two clubs, their lineups. How do you look at their lineups
of
as
course,
we wind up?
With Arsenal, we expect the players that Mikel Arteta rested in midweek, they will come back. The likes of William Saliba will come back and partner Gabriel in centre back. The left back is a little bit tricky. I think the fans are calling out Zinchenko right now. They want Tomiyasu to come in. Of course, the right back, we believe Ben White will continue. Declan Rice comes in midfield with Martin Odegaard, maybe alongside Jorginho. Then of course Bukayo Saka and Martinelli were rested in midweek. So we hope they will return. Edin Ketia will still lead the line. With Newcastle, they made about 7 changes as well in that game of Manchester United. They have some injury worries. Harvey Barnes, their striker Alexander Isak, the big man Steven Botman. But I think they have now some bit of squad depth compared to last season. Right now you can see the likes of Joe Willox are just returning from injury. But he had a fantastic game against Manchester United. Of course, you had Almiron starting from bench, then he came in. So you can see they made some pretty much some changes, but they managed to pull out a result. Then of course Guimaraes will come in that midfield. So with Newcastle as well, I think their players who were rested over midweek will come. So we expect really an interesting time.
Give me your prediction.
looking at last season,
yes.
I think it was really a tight game.
Okay.
It was a tight fight. I think both sides actually respected each other.
Yeah.
Not until about the 14th, 15th minute, and Martin Odegaard put Arsenal on the lead.
Yes.
And of course, the game was a little bit tight there up to around 70th minute, okay, when Fabian Schär actually the scored himself. That an own goal from Fabian Schär. Yeah. And Arsenal sealed the night with a 2-0 victory. So coming to this game, yes, I expect actually more of the same sort of fight results or contest. Yes. I see maybe a narrow victory from Arsenal. Okay. Maybe this time a 1-0 victory. Okay. From Arsenal.
Even me, I will go for 1-0 victory. Compared to our squad and the Newcastle squad, this time they pulled up. Yeah. Thank you so much.